So in my work as in a premarital counsellor, so I speak to couples. One of the points that the sister mentioned is that they do need to have this sort of discussion about the relationship and the direction it's going to go. And so in my premarital counselling, as well as my marriage counselling that I do, finance does come up a lot, especially because it's linked to gendered roles as well. So the question is, who's going to be a breadwinner? Because there's two aspects to a relationship, a marriage. One is the functional aspect, where's the money going to come from and where we're going to stay and so on. And the other is the emotional connection. So I'm either working on one or the other or both at the same time. So finance is so important that you discuss finance from the very beginning. And it's not something of distaste to even bring up. I mean, the work that I do with the couples in this premarital counselling, they got a very level head, and both are usually professionals. They got high flying careers and so on. So it's good to have that discussion now, then get married, and then it becomes private. Usually if they have their own flat and so on, they've got no one interfering, so they're making up the rules. But because they haven't set any precedent beforehand, it can go one way or the other, and then conflict can come. So definitely, so one of the systems that was mentioned by the sister, that's great, but sometimes people don't need an account. It's just that general understanding, either it's spoken or unspoken, that yeah, these bills will be covered, this will be covered here, and you're happy to contribute as much as you can. And having that conversation is so important. Now, that's premarital counselling, because they're not living together. They can sort of look ahead and say, well, we're going to do this. And even in premarital counselling, they're talking about with their finance, are they going to be traveling in the future and so on, all of this sort of thing. Where are they going to be staying? Is it their own place? Are they going to live with, somebody's going to live with their in-laws? So it's not always like the daughter-in-law living, could be the son-in-law living. So all of this is discussed beforehand, the career paths they're going to take. But when it comes to those couples that are married in long-standing marriages, the problem becomes that the man, he is the breadwinner. And say, for example, like the sister mentioned, the woman, she has a child, now she's a caregiver as well as a homemaker. The man may have certain demands because he feels the brunt of it is on him. He's going out to bring all the income. So he expects something in return. The honeymoon period is gone, yeah. So when I'm talking about honeymoon period, I'm not talking about the 2 weeks away to some lovely place and so on. No, I'm talking about the first year of marriage or the second year of marriage. That sort of period where you're just trying to find each other and so on, and you're making a lot of allowance. And now what happens is it comes to the head of the matter, yeah. I'm actually going out on a daily basis earning money. Let's give the example of the man. And he comes home, and what does he has certain expectation. The house would be looked after. But for example, the wife may say, but I've been looking after the child all day and so on. How am I supposed to do this and that? And so conflict becomes an issue now. There's love lost here over these things, which before wasn't an issue. So now we go back to the basics and say, hang on a minute, this is a functional aspect. Can we resolve this? And somewhere along the line, by you squabbling over the functional aspect, that connection you had, the emotional connection is gone. So that love you had is gone. So where's the love? So we ask these sort of questions. And yeah, it's in Islam, there's no shame in talking about love, because Allah SWT says the basis of marriage should be love and mercy and compassion. So yeah, it's a major thing. But sometimes, like I say, people in the very early part of their marriage, they're not mindful of these finance. It's only when the issue comes. So for example, like you said, the woman becomes pregnant or she has a child and so on, and she can't earn as well and so on. So that's when it comes to a head, and that's where you do need to sit down and talk things through. That's the only way to resolve this issue. May Allah grant us understanding. Ameen.